So we're here today with Leslie Goodlow again, our 2007 Rose Festival president, with a really great topic, Rose Festival Queens and Princesses, especially for Black History Month, the history of Black queens and princesses involved with Rose Festival. Leslie, I know you're really close to this program. You've been chair of the court a number of times and across multiple years. So tell us more about this history.
Well, Carol, so I'm so excited today to talk about this because the court program was the main reason why, well, one of the main reasons why. I mean, I love the festival, but it was one of the main reasons why I joined the board because I just love this program. I believe in the program, sending young women to college and helping them to achieve their dreams is one of the most important things that we can do. And when this program started, way back when in 1931 we started picking from high school seniors. There weren't a lot of opportunities for women to go to college, and when they went to college it was just to find a husband. It wasn't because they were expecting women to go into the workforce. It was just basically you went to college, you got married, and then if you got your degree, great. If you didn't, you went, and became a homemaker and raised your kids. So this program has sent hundreds of young women, helped hundreds of young women to go to college. So it is just probably the program that's closest to my heart. So we're going to get started. And I want to thank, I got a lot of this information from the Ebony Princesses of the Portland Rose Festival, 1967 to 1982 by Lenora C. Morris. So they do still have copies of this. I found this on Amazon. I knew that it was available and I got it in like 2 days. So I was really happy that now I have my own copy of that book. So we're going to start off. So the very first senior princess on the senior court, because at the time we had a senior court and a junior court, was Lois Johnson. And she went to Girls Polytechnic. And so she was 18 years old and she represented her school and Lincoln High School on the Rose Festival court. So we, just very happy. This picture is courtesy of the Ebony Princesses book. So we will go on to the next. So not very often, so very few times we've had sisters on the court. So a sister one year, a sister a few, but not that many Black princesses where they've been sisters. So we had 1974 and 1976. Deborah Walker and Renetta Walker were princesses from Jefferson High School. And the other thing about these two girls is that their father was one of the very first, he ran one of the very first organizations that, Black organizations that had a float in the Grand Floral Parade. So they've got double connection. And then I believe, and Miss Terry can correct me if I'm wrong, that they are related to Terry Bowles Atherton, who was just president of the Rose Festival. So lots of connection to the festival. And then in 74 and 75, we had Donna Ray Rose and Georgine Rose, who were princesses from Franklin High School, which again, the fact that you have sisters, same school, and they both become princesses, pretty amazing.
Well, and with middle name of Rose, I think they were destined to be that.
Exactly. So then if you saw the junior parade clip that we did, I talked a little bit about Dana Easley. She was junior queen in 1969. We got a picture of her here in the junior parade, and that picture is from the Oregonian. And then when she was on the senior court from Jefferson High School in 1978. And then we have one other young lady who was both a junior princess and on the senior court, and her name was Lynn Talton. She was on the junior court in 1972, and she was a princess from Adams High School, which is no longer a high school, and in 1979. So we do have a few. There's a couple more that I'm still looking for some information on, but we know that we've had at least these two. So then we have our first Black queen, Robin Marks, Lincoln High School. And I remember when she was announced. I was a freshman at Grant High School and was working at Winchell's Donuts. And we got the news that a Black young lady had won as queen, and people were just losing their minds. We were so excited. It was just, I just can't even tell you how happy we were. And when we went to the parade and we saw her on the float, that she was wearing that crown, it was just really, really, really exciting. And Queen Robin went on to do amazing things. She went to school in Arizona. She was the Fiesta Bowl queen. And now she's back here in Portland. She was the Grand Marshal of the Good in the Hood Parade a couple years ago. So that's what this picture's from. And I actually talked to her last year. She's friends with my neighbor, and she was surprised that I remembered that I knew anything about it. And so Queen Robin, she set the mark for many, many young women in years to come. So then the second Black queen was Raina Beavers from Franklin High School. And I know Raina, have known her for a long time. And she also served on the Rose Festival Board of Directors. So she is one of the many princesses that have come back and given back to the community after being a Rose Festival princess. Here we have two more princesses that then joined the board. We have Brianna Probasco Kanda, who was the princess from Grant High School you have to go back, in 2004. And that's a picture of her official court picture. And then that picture there of all the girls in the red is just before they announced the Rose Festival Queen. And then Sherelle Penn, she was a princess at Grant High School in 1994. And then she joined the board. Oh my gosh, I don't know why this keeps changing, but we're going to work through it. She was on the Rose Festival board and worked with me at several high schools and was chair of the junior court. Okay, now we're going to go on to 1998 Queen Alicia Moreland, Jefferson High School. She was an SEI kid, and now she is a psychiatrist. She is nationally known, and she's currently working at Harvard. Mayor Charlie Hales declared February 11th as Dr. Alicia Moreland Kapuya Day in Portland. So pretty great honor for one of our Rose Festival queens. So I know Miss Alicia, we have served on a couple different boards and committees together. Very happy for her, very proud of her for the amazing work that she has done with folks all across the country. Next, we have Queen Amber Starks from Cleveland High School. Amber, she also has done some pretty amazing things. She went to the legislature and had them change the law around natural hair care and what the requirements are for you to be a beautician or a hairdresser, hairstylist in Portland if you're doing natural hair. And so they changed the law in Oregon, a lot of it because of her advocacy and the work that she did to convince people that everybody's hair is not the same and you shouldn't have the same kind of requirement. So Amber's got a great salon. It's called Conscious Coils. She is a community advocate, and I know Amber as well, have worked with her in a number of different ways. She was a judge for selection for princesses a few years ago. And so that's Queen Amber, Cleveland High School. Then, so the second queen from Cleveland High School that happened to be Black, Queen Grace Neal. She, amazing career. She went to U of O, majored in journalism, And then she graduated. She went to work for the county. She was a policy person for Multnomah County. And now she works with Senator Ron Wyden, she's the local liaison for the senator. And she's married and she's about to have a baby. So Grace is one of my girls. Sherelle and I worked with her from the very first orientation at Cleveland and all the way through to her announcement as princess. And then I was coronation chair the year that she was queen. And Queen Grace knighted me when I was president. So I have close connection to her. She came to my daughter's wedding. She's like Ebony's big sister. And so very, very close and very happy for her for all her achievements and that she's going to have a baby boy in a few weeks. So here's another set of sisters, Taylor and Maya Allen, both from Grant High School. I worked with both of them on the court, and Taylor's now an attorney. She has her law degree, and Maya, I think, is working for Oprah magazine. She's doing fashion for some big magazine back east. I know their dad, Ricky Allen, he worked for Jefferson High School. And so great couple of girls, lots of fun working with them the 2 years that they were on the court. Now we have Queen Marshana, 2008, Cleveland High School. So the third queen from Cleveland High School. And I met Marshana. I was in charge of Cleveland the year of that selection. She came into the room for the orientation straight from basketball practice or track practice. So she was in her sweats and she was eating. So she had like French fries or something. And I'm trying to start and she tells the story about how I looked at her, that she's eating and I'm trying to talk. And so I just kind of turned and gave her a look, and she just slowly put the French fries away and put them under the desk. This is another one of my daughters. Marshana was in Ebony's wedding. So she was one of Ebony's bridesmaids. So another big sister. And I know her dad, he worked at the county. Her dad was on the board of directors for the Rose Festival. And now he works at the city with me. And so great girl. She's now doing recruiting for a college in Washington. She was doing recruiting for Portland State, and just absolutely, absolutely love her. Just amazing young woman. Again, somebody doing great things. So the next few pictures are some pictures of the Black princesses from 2008 up through 2018. So you get a chance to see the girls that have represented their high schools and different high schools. So everybody is not from Jefferson or from Roosevelt or from the schools that usually have the higher Black student population. Of course, Jefferson has had a majority of Black princesses over the years. Now that Benson got a princess a few years ago. Well, not a few, but so there've been several Black princesses from Benson High School. So that's 2010. And then we go into 2011 and we have Queen Lamara Haynes, who was the second Black queen from Franklin High School. We had Raina Beavers, and then we had Lamara Haynes. Lamara was very surprised that she won. And again, she's was a very well-read, great young woman, graduated from Portland State, and she is a community activist here in Portland. Stay in touch with her. I'm friends with her on Facebook. So very excited for Lamar when she was queen. So then we have 2011 court, which of course Lamar was on, and Maya from Grant. Jay Brannon from Cleveland actually works at the city. 2012 court, we had 6 young ladies, 3 of whom showed up to my house after the court was over, dressed as babies in a basket to surprise me. And then my daughter was on the court in 2013. Erica Baldwin, she was the princess from Benson High School. 2014 court. I was going to talk about Chasmin. So Chasmin from Park Rose was our speaker at the 2014 auction. And there was not a dry eye in the house after she finished her speech. And people stood up and said, okay, if you have her come over here, because I want to write a check. I want to make sure that we support the organization and we support her because she did such an amazing job. 2015 court, we had Paris and Tyann and Devin and Kahasia, and Kahasia was selected as queen. So we had a great time. Kahasia and I traveling. I was chair of the court that year. And this picture up at the top of her with former Governor Roberts, and you can't really see Kate Brown, but she was there in the picture with her. And then this top picture is Sherelle, who was a Rose Festival princess, and Kahasia, who was queen at the Good in the Hood parade. And then the middle picture is Kahasia at waiting to start for the knighting ceremony. 2016, we had two Black princesses, one from Grant and one from Jefferson. Both these young women are finishing up college. 2017 court. 2017, we had the most diverse court in Rose Festival history. We had 15 princesses, 13 of them identified as being of color. And so they had a great time reaching out and touching people. We also had really our first Muslim princess who was openly, wore her, gosh, this slide, I'm so sorry. So then in 2018, we had Mariamu, who was our second princess, who was wore Muslim attire and believed in being covered up. So we had to make some adjustments to wardrobe to account for their religious beliefs. But another very diverse court, 2018. And then 2019, Queen Maya Brazil from St. Mary's Academy. Very happy for her. I've known her mom since my kids were little. Erica was a SEI kid and her mother worked at SEI. So I'd known Maya since she was a little bit. So very, very excited for her. We had some things happen, so she didn't get to celebrate and do a lot of the things as queen because of circumstances. So she missed out on some things. She didn't have a festival last year and because of COVID. And she didn't get to travel. She didn't get to go to Taiwan. And so her year got cut short a little bit, but when you talk to her about it, she had a great time, great experience. And she's one of these young women that are just interested in giving back and what they can do for others and not just what they can get out of it.
Well, and if anyone ever goes to PDX, a painting of Queen Maya is on the walls of the tunnel that goes in between the parking area and the terminal. She was chosen to be a subject of that artwork. It's like a big long mural. So she'll live on as queen at PDX for quite a long time.
Yes. This big picture here on the side is Queen Kiara putting the travel crown on Maya, which is a tradition for the queens to pass on the travel crown to the next queen. And so Maya was getting ready to go out and be on the float. And so they were so happy. So I had to pull that picture. And then this bottom picture, the 38th annual Rose Festival Art Show, that's the art painting. So since the centennial, or since the centennial of the court program, not the centennial of the Rose Festival. So starting with the 100th Queen, Emma Weibel, an artist has done a painting of the queens. And so this is Maya's portrait. And so those are hanging at the Rose Festival office. If you ever, once we can open things back up, you can go down there and you can see those portraits. And then of course, this top picture is right after she was crowned and they were reading the official proclamation. So that's the end of my my slideshow. I'm so sorry for the transitions. I thought I pulled all those out, but as you can tell, I have a lot of heart for the court program. I tried out for the junior court when I was 9 or 10 years old. I was probably a foot taller than every other elementary school young lady that was there. Back then, they tried to keep them all the same size. So that was one of the criteria that they were using to choose little girls to be on the junior court. And I also tried out at Grant when I was a senior at Grant High School. And the year that I tried out, there were 45 girls from the senior class. And they did several judging sessions to narrow it down to 12 and then narrow it down to 6. And then the student body voted to pick the queen, the princess. And my friend and co-cheerleader, Tracy Norton, won as the princess that year. We were very, very happy for her. And so one of the things I want to talk about is how we've changed the judging process over the years to ensure that we have diversity on the court. Back when I tried out, the students made the decision. And so a lot of it, even though people didn't think so, a lot of it was based on popularity or who had the best dress or who was dating the basketball, whoever, or who had the best bow. Because there were a lot of those bows took, the longer you took to do your bow, the more people screamed and hooted and hollered. And so we don't do the bow anymore. And now we have a judging system where the school's vote counts for half of the points. And then we have community judges that their points count for the other half. So even if somebody's very popular, they still have to do well with the judges. And so it takes some of that popularity portion out. And so that the judges score based on character, presence, and communication. So it's not, how pretty you are. It's not, there's no swimsuit competition. It's not about what kind of gown you wear. It is how well you can speak, how well you can answer questions, how well you can recover if you make a mistake. And if you're going to be yourself, we don't want people, girls to be putting on airs or being what they think people want to see. We want girls that are really themselves. I was involved with the court program for almost 20 years, chair of the court program for 5 years, and I was selection chair for, I'm not sure, 5 or 6 years. And so we pick judges from the community. You can apply to be a judge, and you get to see all of these young women come in and do their speeches and answer questions and hear how much they have accomplished. Because when I read some of the bios of these young women and think about what I did when I was in high school, I feel really underaccomplished.
I'm with you on that.
I'm just amazed at the stuff that these kids have done and are doing. And so again, just being a judge for the court program or volunteering with the court program, great opportunity. It is not a beauty pageant. So I'm going to say that again. It's not a beauty pageant. Again, there's no swimsuit. There's no evening gown. It is about how well they can present themselves and what kind of character they have, how they're involved in their school, how they're involved in the community, and their volunteerism. And so if you're interested in being a judge, I think this year we're doing judging by Zoom. I think they're still trying to work that out. I'm not as involved with the court program this year because I've got other things that I'm doing for the festival. But again, you can reach out, you can shoot me an email, find me on Facebook and say, hey, I'd like to be a judge, and I can pass your name on to those folks that are in charge of the court program. And at some point, we're going to get back to doing judging in person. And so we can keep your name on the list and you can come out and be a judge. And we also look for queen judges for coronation. But I know last year we did it very different. We let the girls vote to be on who they wanted to be queen, which is the first time in a many years that we let the girls choose the queen, and we have Queen Anya from Lincoln High School. So thank you so much, Miss Carol, for letting me talk about one of my big passions of the Rose Festival. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited about the court program. I have lots of daughters, as my birth daughters say, that I have daughters all over the country because I have loved on many young women, and lots of them still call me Mama Leslie. So thank you, everybody, for watching this, and take care, be safe.
Thanks, Leslie. And if you know anyone who's interested in the Rose Festival Court, maybe would like to try out for the scholarship, go to rosefestival.org and you can find Rose Festival Court information there. Thanks again, Leslie.
Oh, and just one more thing, Miss Carol.
Yes.
So since you said that, if you've got a daughter that goes to Grant, she's a junior or a senior. I know we're looking for girls from Grant High School, and I think maybe Franklin High School, we're looking for some girls.
Yes.
So if you've got daughters, nieces, granddaughters, friends with daughters that go to either Grant or Franklin, let them know that it's a great scholarship, $3,500. The scholarship my daughter got paid for her to be able to study abroad for 2 summers. And so it's a great opportunity. It's too good of an opportunity to pass by. And so let us know if you know somebody. Like I said, find me on Facebook and I'll tell you how you can apply. So thank you, and you guys take care.
Thanks, Leslie.